what is the definition of socialism? Because when you ask people, especially these proud socialist supporters, you ask them what is socialism, they tell you that socialism is caring about people and doing the right thing, and it is society, whatever that even means. It is society taking care of people, and it's not making money, it's only caring about money. And then you ask them what capitalism is, and they tell you that capitalism is just only caring about money and not caring about people. Well, that definition sucks, okay? It is a loaded definition. The point of that definition is to demonize anyone who is a capitalist and vindicate anyone who is a socialist. When Karl Marx wrote about socialism, he had a very specific definition what he meant by that. He had a technical definition for what that term meant, saying that socialism is just caring for people and doing good things for them. It's not a technical definition. It's completely useless to define it in that way. If we want to have a debate about the economy, then we need to have much more precise definitions about what is the meaning of socialism and what is the meaning of capitalism. So, let me tell you what socialism means. This is what it means to me. And this is a much better definition than what a lot of people say. So, it's not really my own definition, it's coming from Karl Marx. So if you want to use anyone's definition, you should stick to what Karl Marx said. So, the difference between socialism and capitalism is that in a capitalist economy, the economy is privately run. That there is this thing like private property, and people buy and sell, and that creates a market, and the economy is determined by that market. Okay? That is what capitalism is. It has nothing to do with greed. It has nothing to do with disregarding the care of other people. There are a lot of capitalists who are bad people. There are a lot of capitalists who are good people. The point is that what kind of a person you are is not intrinsic to whether you are a socialist or a capitalist. It's just a disagreement over economics. So, before I say what socialism is, I should also say that there's different kinds of capitalism. You can have, like laissez-faire capitalism, which the state mostly stays out of. Or you can have the kind of capitalist economy that we have now, where the economy is mostly run through the market, but the state messes it up along the way. And of course they blame it on the market, but it's not, the economy we have now is not a socialist economy. There are parts about it which are socialist, like the monetary system, because that's not determined through the private market. Money is not part of the market. It is part of the government. Okay? So there are different forms of capitalism. And there's also different forms of socialism. But before I go into that, I wanted to explain what socialism means. And we should stick to what Karl Marx meant by that. And not play an emotional appeals game of making the socialists sound like good people and the capitalists sound like bad people. So, if you stick to Karl Marx, his complaint was that with capitalism and with private property, you have exploitation of the workers. Of course, this is oversimplified. This is not a video on Karl Marx. If you're interested, go read him. But that's essentially his argument. He said that capitalism is exploitative, it is immoral because of that, and therefore the state needs to control the economy to make sure that these things do not happen. Okay, that is his argument. Whether or not it is a good idea or not, that is a separate discussion, but we're just coming up with definitions here so we can at least know what we're talking about. So, to summarize, socialism is quite simply central planning by the economy. That is all it is. It has nothing to do with caring for the public. Okay, the USSR did not exactly care for the public, considering how many of them got killed. Okay, but it was a socialist economy because the economy was mostly planned by the state. Prices were determined by the state. How much gets produced and who gets what is determined by the state, and not through a market-based system of buying and selling. It is a different kind of economic structure. That is a technical definition for socialism. Okay? And just like with capitalism, there's different forms. The simplest form, for example, is family. Family is socialism because family is centrally planned. Your kids are not working and making money for themselves. And when you're married to someone and you have kids, you and your wife kind of decide together what needs to be done. Okay, that is central planning. And that's small-scale socialism. And you also have small-scale socialism when people lived in hunter-gatherer communities. 20 people, 30 people, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less. But that was a socialist economy. Whenever you have any form of central planning, whenever economic calculation is not done through markets of supply and demand, buyers and so, when it's not done through that, and it's done through some central agency, and for practical purposes it is being the state, then that is socialism. And the US is not a socialist economy, because even though markets are very heavily regulated, the state does not control them. Not really. See, regulating is not the same thing as controlling. The state is not saying how much you have to sell food for, at what prices, or how much. It may interfere with who you can sell it to. It may require licensing and all of that stuff. It certainly does interfere with the process, but it is not overtaking the market and telling it what to do. If it did, you would have complete disaster. So the U.S. economy is a capitalist economy. Yes, it is, but it's just a different kind. It's not like the U.S. economy in the 1900s. It's a different kind. And so that's the technical description between capitalism and socialism. Whether or not you believe that the economy should be centrally operated through the state. If you believe in that, that makes you a socialist. If you do not believe in that, and you believe that it should be done through a market-based system, something like that, maybe you're not all laissez-faire, but if you support something similar to that, that makes you a capitalist. Okay? And that means, by the way, that Sweden, that you socialists love to bring as the example of the success of socialism, is a capitalist country. Yes, that is correct. The economy there is not centrally planned. They do not have government bureaucrats deciding the price of food and the price of cars, the price of computers, and who gets to how much and what proportion. That is not happening there. What they have there is a welfare-based system. Welfare is not equivalent to socialism. It may or may not be part of it. But the key description for socialism is central economic planning. What they have in Sweden is a welfare system. And in the US we have a welfare system, not as large as in Sweden, not as much tax as in Sweden, but it's not a socialist economy. It's a capitalist economy with welfare tendencies to it. So get your definition straight when you enter into a debate about economics. I'm not going to take you seriously if you define socialism as just caring for the people and doing the good thing. What kind of a political philosophy is that? It's empty and meaningless. It has no specifics to it to debate over. So, whenever you talk of socialism, keep that in mind, that you advocate central planning, okay?